Freedom Fighters, I'm coming back at you with another one. Well, do you guys watch Buddybrown? I used to, but I haven't in a long time. Well, one of his videos popped up recently on my feed, and I was like, oh look, I forgot about this guy. But he did a video a while back, and I can't remember exactly what it was titled, but it was like, why there won't be a civil war, or there won't be a civil war. And, it was the typical, the left is so easy to beat, it's just pink-haired soy boys, and whenever we want, we can just wipe the left completely out. It's the typical, whatever you want to call it, conservative, Republican, right-leaning, it's almost like a false bravado that we've built within ourselves that's just like, oh yeah, anytime we want, we'll just take the country back. But that's not the reality. And I can't remember if I already talked about it, but I left a comment on one of PBD's videos, the Patrick Bet-David podcast. I can't remember if it was on that or if it was on Value Entertainment, but he did a video talking about Civil War or something one time. And I was in the comments and someone wrote a comment similar to that. Like, oh, the Civil War is going to be easy and we're just going to, get through it like a breeze. And I wrote something like, that's not it, man. It's so much deeper than just fighting the pink-haired soy boys. And I got flamed in the comments section in there saying like, oh, freedom needs a safe space and all this stuff. And I'm trying to explain it to people, but they just don't get it. I'll try to link it if I can find that comment. But if I can't post it in this video, drop me the subscribe, and I'll usually post it in my community tab so you can get the behind-the-scenes info. But yeah, so I went back through his videos, and I couldn't find it. So I guess he deleted it. But since then, he's put up a few new ones, and they sing a little bit different of a tune. I went through several of his videos. Not every single minute of all his stuff, but, he contradicts himself constantly. And then there's this one video where he talks about the Penny, the guy up in New York who defended the old lady. And he was saying, all you guys need to come down. You patriots that are still living in Cali or New York, need to come down to the free states, I think is what he was calling it. And he made a few points in those videos that, like, you can't, there is no coming together anymore. And we're not going to form this cohesive unit. Basically, it's two different Americas and we are at a civil war. And I tried to message him, well, what happened to those old Civil War videos? And none of my comments on his channel show up. So, I'm not saying it's him. It's probably YouTube. I'm shadow banned and blasted off of a lot of channels for making comments, but, and then I remember seeing Mark Levin one time posting a comment about that too. He posted a tweet saying, all you patriots have to get out in New York and all that, and I'm like, if it's so easy to beat the left, and the Civil War would be over in a day, as they, people are like, oh, a Civil War with the left would only last 24 hours. Why are you fleeing then? Why are you telling people to leave if it's so easy to beat them? Because you could just get it over with in 24 hours, right? No, it's a lot harder than that. And that's what I wrote in that one comment section too, was I said, we are in the second Civil War and they are winning. And people were all upset with it and they said, how are they winning? And, I explained it, but my comment didn't even go through because, again, all the censorship. And I said, look, man, your school that your children goes to, they're teaching them pronouns. Your church is doing same-sex marriages and probably using pronouns. The highest levels in the military are doing DEI and using pronouns. And posting pictures of rainbow-colored bullets and rainbow flags. And then when they try to save face and post a cool picture of shooting guns or something, they have backwards mounted scopes and videos of people in the army who can't even load magazines. I mean, it's a joke. So yeah, they are winning. Yeah, then he has this other video called "If the Backwoods Handled the Border." And I said, oh, many have tried. You know, there was a recent 60 Minutes or, you know, one of these mainstream news did a piece on this citizen militia, and they were patrolling the border and everything. And they got arrested, supposedly, because they went in some, like, unauthorized zone that they weren't allowed to go into. And I'm like, as long as it's on this side of the border, then what's the problem? Like, you know, you're in America. But supposedly it was this cordoned off, you know, area. Probably so the Border Patrol and the treasonous scum can traffic kids and stuff, you know, in their operation behind closed doors. So they don't want you seeing all that. But, yeah, and then there was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he was a part of a group that they arrested the militia and then found out he had a felony charge and he was armed. So they charged him with felon in possession of a firearm. And I remember looking up that article. I'll definitely try to post that one. And they called him a dangerous felon and he can't be in possession of firearms. And the only charge they listed was impersonation of a police officer. Which, I mean, can be bad depending on what you're doing. I actually have a story about that I'll probably tell at another time. But, yeah, depending why he was impersonating an officer and what he was doing, you know, that's a whole nother issue. But the fact that he's a dangerous felon and that he can't be in possession of a firearm and he can't defend his country, no, that's the part that they find dangerous. The fact that he actually went to go handle the situation and that he was armed and ready to do what was necessary, and they can't have that. So yeah, that's what's going to happen if the people from the backwoods try to handle the border. And then recently in Tennessee, they arrested a guy who sold a suppressor to a agent and said something about like, yeah, I'm going to go to the border and, you know, whatever, take care of business. So they arrested him again. There are many people trying to handle the border, buddy, but, you know, the boys in blue are not letting it happen, which lets you know what side they're on. Again, I think I reported about a article. They said the vigilante group zip-tied and, you know, gathered up a whole bunch of illegals and they drove them to the Border Patrol or immigration, ICE, whatever. And then those guys arrested the militia group and said, you can't be tying people up and throwing them in your vehicles. So they charged them for kidnapping. Once again, that's what happens when the backwoods people handle the border. But yeah, man, let me just cut right to the chase here. Then I came across the golden video. This video right here called Back the Blue Truck Sessions. So, you know, I guess Buddy he's like a musician, politician, I guess. But yeah, the song starts off here with, I think twice each morning getting out of bed, knowing that some hate me for the badge that I wear. And I don't hate them for their badge. I mean, I don't hate them at all, but it'd be stupid to believe it's just because a shiny piece of metal that a guy wears on his chest. I dislike them because of their actions, because of what they do. And he goes on to say, a couple bad apples doesn't represent all. I still believe most are good. And if we stop caring about the law, there goes our neighborhoods. Well, there he goes. He got me singing it. But I mean, wow, there is a lot to unpack there. See, this whole, they're not all bad. And I'm not saying that every single one is a psychopathic, you know, criminal. Well, but I mean, what I'm saying is they are all complicit. They all are a part of this system. and helping keep it afloat. And then if anyone else goes against it, they are there to defend the system. That next line, though, was top-tier bootlicking. If we stop caring about the law, there goes our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods are already gone. The Constitution is already gone. The country is gone. Our neighborhoods are gone. Ask the angel moms. The gang violence taking over and everything. And then they'll say, well, it would be even worse if it wasn't for the law enforcement, but it would have never happened in the beginning if we would have just taken care of the problem. Or if, like you say, if the people from the back was just took care of it. But see, they make example out of the guys that are patrolling the border, or the militias that take things into their own hands and try to do stuff. And then the so-called patriots are the ones then who don't back them. Whenever a group goes and does something, the so-called patriots will be like, no, it's just a false flag to make us look bad. And then they don't support them. Or anyone who talks about doing anything, they're a Fed. It's a Fed. The people back in the day protected their own neighborhoods. Now you'll be arrested for doing so. So yeah, that law you love so much, the law protects the illegals. The law enforces gun control. The law isn't there to help you, it's to keep you in check. It's to keep you in line. The lawman is just following orders that a politician wrote on paper. And you respect and love the law so much, what about when the law says no 30-round magazines? Or no vertical grips? Or no suppressors? Or whatever thousands of unconstitutional laws on the books. These are the same so-called patriots who were reciting, 1776 all the time, and the Constitution, and talking about, Thomas Jefferson, and rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Yet then they have this, some kind of love with the law. And, I just don't understand it. And that's the thing. I have a higher power that it doesn't matter what men put to paper. My freedoms and rights and what's right and wrong does not come down from a uniform and a badge or a robe or what politicians say can or cannot happen. It goes beyond that. The man in blue that you love so much is the one who comes and takes it from your cold, dead hands. But you're always singing their praises, and, we love the police. Back the blue, oh, back the blue. It doesn't matter what they do, they can kill your dog and your whole family too. But you know what you gotta do as a patriot, you gotta back the blue. They sat by during stolen elections. They give politicians rock hard erections. Forced you to get injections. But you know what you gotta do. As a patriot, you always gotta back the blue. Yeah, there we go. So that's a channel first. That's a Freedomfighter first hit single. You heard it here right on the channel for the first time. C2 can play this game, buddy. We can all make our own songs here. Hopefully I hit it big and make some of that money so I can get a new van or something to go live down by the river or get a cabin in the woods. So, yeah, again, if you're new to this channel and you're still here, definitely drop that like, share the content, subscribe, help me out. But yeah, man, this is just kind of like my message to Buddy here. I said I didn't want to do these roasting videos or do the whole infighting thing. But, I guess I'm back to my old ways. I just can't help myself. But, yeah, I saw this and I don't know, man. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And it's all these channels now, man. I don't even know what it is, but Benny Johnson is another one. I don't know if you guys watch him, but maybe I'll have to do another video on that. It brings me to another point. This is getting kind of long. I'll probably save that for another video. But yeah, until the next one, you know what it always is, man. We are on our own. No one's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom Fighters out.